This is the Chris Cross Show. I'm back, and I have an unusual episode today because I usually don't film when I don't have the content that I usually look for, which is like segments like Elephant in the Room, my rankings, and also just like my other segments. But I am here to film because I wanted to film based off of what happened this weekend in the NBA and also what's happened recently in the league. So I'm here to give that to you now. Okay, so before I start, I think this is going to be a trend here. I'm currently wearing a Ben Simmons 76er jersey. I think it was their city jerseys from last year. I really liked it. It was pretty cheap when I bought it. It was like $66 compared to the $130 they were selling it, because I actually got it from their 76er store. As you can see, it's got the StubHub logo on it. So I just thought I'd let you guys know. I think this is going to be a trend where I wear a jersey for every episode and just kind of promote it. So this is my Ben Simmons 76er city jersey from last year. Anyways, to start off with my segments, have you ever hyped up a friend, or you were with a friend and you hyped them up? Maybe they were really attracted to this one person and you just hyped them up and you knew they had no chance, but hyping them up, gets them in a good mood, gets you in a good mood, and it's just good to hype up your friend, especially, to hype up a friend for anything, whether you're hyping them up before they go into a match, before they go into a game, or if you're trying to hype them up to, be their wingman, so to say. Now, this is very similar to the New York Knicks. Now, the New York Knicks are the friend that you're hyping up, right? Everyone is going for the Knicks. I mean, you see Madison Square Garden, it's packed. Everyone's cheering for them. Everyone wants the Knicks to be successful because the Knicks, when they're successful, it brings ratings up, and it's a great atmosphere to be around. Now, the New York Knicks are that friend that has no chance. I was wrong on the Knicks, so I'm wrong on that, because I thought the Knicks would beat the Atlanta Hawks. Now, here's the thing. The New York Knicks were a great regular season team. And I mentioned this before with the New York Knicks. Great story. Got a lot of players that no one wanted, like Julius Randle, Reggie Bullock, Derrick Rose, Taj Gibson, and they made it work, right? They gelled pretty good, and they made it work, especially in a condensed season where you got a bunch of teams that went to the bubble that are just, kind of getting into the season. And the New York Knicks had a lot of days to rest, signed a lot of players, and just kind of started gelling well and playing really good. Again, the New York Knicks, their flaws are they have no shooting. They're too Derrick Rose dependent. And again, Tom Thibodeau will outplay his players. And again, they have, other than Nerlens Noel, no real rim protection. They're pretty lengthy, but their biggest flaw is shooting. And in the playoffs, when you're playing against a team and you have to beat them 4 out of 7, you expose their flaws. And it's more exposed in the playoffs. Again, in a regular season game, you can expose someone's flaws. But the New York Knicks are being exposed as a team that can't shoot. They can defend, but they can't shoot. And the Atlanta Hawks, in this case, can shoot. They have Trae Young. They have Gallinari. They have Bogdanovic. They have John Collins. They have all these players that can shoot. The New York Knicks don't have that. But we all like the Knicks because they were a great regular season story. We hyped them up. When the Madison Square Garden is lit up, the whole world feels great. I mean, it's the mecca of basketball for a reason. So the New York Knicks, and I was dead wrong about them because I thought they'd win, but they've been exposed a lot. And it's really, their flaws are really, really showing. Obviously, Atlanta's up 3-1. Probably going to close out the series in Madison Square Garden. Now, again, back to it. The New York Knicks are the good regular season story that everyone loved. Everyone was hyping them up. Everyone wants them to do well. It's just like that friend that you hype up before a game, that you're trying to be their wingman, so you hype them up. And they're, when you try to hype someone up, especially when they have no chance, you hype them up a lot, right? You're like, yeah, you got this, don't worry. Like, nothing, they got nothing on you. And that's what we're doing to the Knicks. And I just really wanted to come out and say that because I feel like that's the New York Knicks. They're a great story, and we love them. I love them. I really wanted them to beat Atlanta, but it looks like they're probably not. And we just want them to do well, right? We know they have no chance. We know they had no chance going into this series. Obviously, Atlanta was favored in the betting odds, but we just want them to do well because we like them and we think they're great. Just like that one friend that you have that you want them to do great. You know they may not have a chance, but you want them to do well. So that's the New York Knicks for you. Again, Atlanta's probably going to close it out. I do believe they play Wednesday night in New York. Atlanta's going to close them out. But the Knicks, great story, great direction that they're headed in. And it's only the best basketball to come in New York. Okay, switching gears to Boston. Now, there was a couple things that happened in Boston last night that were not great things. So the first one that I want to get to is the fan. Now, I said this in my last episode where I just don't like that the fans feel like they can do what they want, especially fans that sit up close. When you sit up close, you pay a lot of money, you're there, you get to see the players' faces clearly. Now look, I have a problem with this because I'm a fan who, if I were sitting in the front row, that would make my life. Because I want to see the players up close. I want to see the way they act up close. Now, I'm always stuck in the high seats, level 200, level 300 seats. And, you know, if I can get a glimpse of their face, I'm happy. Now, this fan, again, there was a couple of things last week with involving Trae Young and involving Russell Westbrook that really upset me because they're taking advantage of where they're sitting and they're just using that to not the best things. Now, this fan threw a water bottle at Kyrie at the end of the Celtics and Nets game. And again, I'm glad that the Celtics fans pointed at the guy and said, hey, that's him. Don't associate him with us. We're here for basketball. That's the guy who, you know, kind of had a brain fart and just threw a water bottle. So, again, I don't really like that. I don't like that the fan did that at all. And it saddens me that they're continuing to do this. But again, now it's starting to be a trend. They want to be on TV. They want to be mentioned on media talk shows. And that's exactly what they're getting. They're being talked about. That's what they realistically want. I mean, if you really think about it, they just want those 5 seconds of fame. And it saddens me because, you know, you're sitting there, you watch a game, it doesn't go your way because, again, he was wearing a Celtics jersey. Oh, well. You know, at least you got to see the team, you got to see the players up close and personal. Just be happy with that. I don't really like the whole throwing the water bottle, saying mean things to players. I like the regular trash talk where it's like, you won't make that, and then they make it, and, you know, kind of have like entertaining conversations. Like a couple years ago, Dwayne Wade had a confrontation with a fan sitting courtside. But again, it was all love of the game. He was just hyping up his team, and Dwayne Wade was, again, trying to prove his point that he's a better player than anyone on the Hornets. But this situation in particular, it's just ridiculous. I mean, you go to a game, I don't know why I'm wasting my breath talking about this, but I really don't like this because it makes the fans look terrible. It makes us all look bad as fans because we're apparently throwing water bottles. So again, I'm glad Boston arrested him and kicked him out for good in the TD Garden. And hopefully all the other NBA arenas kick him out because there's no place for that anywhere in general. So, you know, applaud to the NBA and to obviously Boston for arresting him and banning him. So anyways, I'm going to get into my other situation that happened in Boston last night, and I'll get to that right now. Okay, so before the water bottle was thrown at Kyrie, I'd say about a minute or so before, Kyrie Irving, at the end of the game, was shaking his teammates' hands and then walks to the logo of the Celtics in midcourt. and stomps or rubs his foot on it to show a little bit of a sign of disrespect to the Celtics organization. Now, I don't know what the purpose of that was, and maybe that led to the fan doing that. But again, I'm not saying that the fan should do that as a result of that. Not at all. But I just think that the way Kyrie Irving's been acting, using the sage before games to, kind of clear the air, talking about peace and love and all these other things. Now, again, I'm all for peace and love. If players are going to promote that and actually go out and do it, I'm all for it. But I think that when you go out and you promote love and peace, and then you go mid-court to a team you used to play for, and a team that you promised you'd sign to, and then you go out and you do that, I think that contradicts a little bit because, again, I don't know exactly what happened with Kyrie and the Boston fallout, but I think when you go out and you do that, especially at the end of a game after a huge blowout, a blowout that, the game was basically over at the end of the third quarter, and you play the fourth quarter, you play a lot of the fourth quarter, and then you go out and you do that, and you basically walk to center court at the end of the game to do that, your message is clear to the Celtics organization that, you don't really like them, and you're showing it there. I don't like what the fan did at all. I think the Celtics should respond to Kyrie. The Celtics players should respond to Kyrie next game for showing that disrespect by, putting him in the pick and roll, making him defend on ball more, just kind of picking on Kyrie more during the game. That's what I think the Celtics should do as a retaliation. Because I think if someone came to, let's say my house and then just kind of stomped and rubbed their foot on my house, I'd feel a little disrespected, right? So I think when you do that, Kyrie, what message are you trying to send? Are you saying that it's okay to do that to someone? Or are you about peace and love? Because this message to me isn't clear, and I'd love some clarity on it because, again, Kyrie Irving's a good player. He's been talking about the right stuff. But when you do this action, you make me question you a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to switch from Boston all the way to LA, and I'm going to talk about the LA teams. So on Friday, the Lakers looked like the team that were trending up, and the Clippers looked like the team that were trending down. Tables have turned. Saturday, Sunday happened, and it's really turned since then. So the Clippers now are tied with the Dallas Mavericks 2-2 and look like the better team, look like the team that's probably going to end up winning 4 straight and move on to the second round. Now the Lakers lost Anthony Davis to a groin strain midway through the game, and obviously Caldwell Pope did not play game 4 at all with the quad contusion. The Lakers are trending down. They've dealt with injuries all year, and they're, in my opinion, in trouble because Anthony Davis is a fragile superstar. And now I saw this one segment where this reporter was worried about Anthony Davis because he's always on the floor. Now, again, Anthony Davis is trying to sell a call, so he falls to the floor. Now, again, Anthony Davis is 6'11", almost 7 feet tall. To fall on the ground constantly, that's a big fall. I mean, he's a big dude. That's a pretty long fall. So Anthony Davis constantly falling on the hardwood floor, it just puts a strain on his body. If you constantly fall on the floor basically 15 times a game, you're going to hurt yourself somewhere. Now, Anthony Davis went up for a layup, and obviously, in my opinion, was fouled and strained his groin. Now, this, again, just adds to the injuries that Anthony Davis has had since he's been a Laker. There's been right shoulder issues, there's been Achilles issues, there's been knee issues. There's been all these issues with Anthony Davis since he joined the Lakers. Now, again, Anthony Davis is a great talent, but I'm worried now because he's probably going to be out for a while because the last time I heard groin strain was LeBron James, and he missed 18 games back 2 seasons ago. So I'm a little worried about this groin strain. I really, really just hope it's a regular strain where he can miss game 5 and then be back for game 6 and it'll be all fine. I know that's not the case. Now KCP hopefully comes back and he's their best perimeter defender and hopefully can defend Devin Booker a little bit better. The Lakers defense has been amazing this entire series. I think Phoenix game 4's Phoenix was the first time they scored 100 points and they only got 100 points. So their defense has been solid. Their offense has been like a roller coaster. You just don't know what you're going to get. You don't know if it's going to be up or down or up or down. So the Lakers are in trouble in my opinion, and the Clippers, basically in the basement of the Lakers, are doing great. They've been playing great basketball. Everyone's healthy. Chemistry's getting better. They look like the better team. And as of right now, in my opinion, I think the Lakers can finish the Suns off if LeBron goes in superhero mode. But I don't think they can get past the second round if Anthony Davis continues to stay out with an injury. They need Anthony Davis against Portland. They need him against Denver because Portland has no rim protection. And as you can see, what Denver's doing, Jokic is just eating with the Portland centers. And if they play Portland, again, Anthony Davis can eat in the paint. And Denver, they can expose Denver again with Jokic and Marc Gasol and whoever they throw at Jokic. But I don't think they'll get past them if Anthony Davis is not healthy. So this is a huge concern. I do believe they can finish the Suns off without Anthony Davis, but I don't think they can get past the second round without Anthony Davis. So this is a huge concern. And again, going back to the Clippers, they're healthy, they're playing great, and they're doing really, really good. So again, what a weekend. I'm still in awe of what the weekend did. I mean, the Clippers are down 0-2. Now they're 2-2 and look like the better team. Lakers are up 2-1. Now they're 2-2 and there's injuries. So it's a huge concern. And the LAs have swapped positions, so to say. And it's going to be crazy to see. I'm excited to see tomorrow, Tuesday and Wednesday, on how these games turn out. Who takes a 3-2 lead in both series. I'm really excited to see that. And, well, that's it for this segment. All right, I hope you enjoyed the show. I know it was random to upload an episode today, but I just really, really wanted to talk about what happened in the NBA this past weekend. It was a lot of juicy stuff, so I really hope you enjoyed it. And if I missed anything, please let me know in the comment section. Hey, everybody, thanks for watching. Keep up with the show by clicking the subscribe button to get the latest from the show. Also, turn on the notifications to know when a new episode is posted. Thank you.